So we're here with Season 3 Reloaded, and we're going to go ahead and go through multiplayer zombies and Warzone. The timestamps are both on the line as well as in the description if you just want to skip to your individual section. So for multiplayer, we get Grime 66, Checkpoint 6v6, both new maps. Then we get the Battle 27. This applies to all of the various game modes. The first 4 shots are slower to fire, but highly accurate. So that'll be a little interesting how that impacts the TTK. And then we also have the new aftermarket parts, which is the Jack Warden, and this is for the Lockwood MK2. I think these other ones come out in the next couple weeks. I don't think they're all gonna come out at once. I know most people are kind of interested in this M16 one and seeing how that applies to the other ones. New mode, we're gonna have Escort, which is a returning mode, Minefield, Arcade, and then we get some new events. We get the U Assist Veterans, complete the code UAV challenge to help military veterans navigate their career search while earning reward. Okay, it says in the season reload, we're introducing weapon prestige camos, a new progression system for players to flex mastery of their favorite weaponry. To unlock the weapon prestige camo, players must earn a set of weapon XP for each weapon or any weapon of choice, including those carried forward from MWIII. Weapon prestige camos are earned on a per weapon basis, rewarding a commit. So kind of like Obsidian, it'll be a little bit different. And then our debut weapon camo is the One Trick. Unlocked upon earning 150,000 XP, this weapon coats the entire surface of the weapon in molten gold. And yes, it's animated. You can expect to see the new weapon prestige system in each of the remaining seasons ahead. We look, what the, psh, that is some grinder stuff if you want that. Okay, UI. X, it says increased number of allowed favorite attachments from 10 to 30. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There are 90 optics. I only want to use 4 of them, but it doesn't allow me to save that many. Thank you. Okay, weekly challenges that reward an aftermarket part will now display the base weapon in the information model. Thank you. Because sometimes like, what weapon is this for? And then you kind of figure it out. Added locked and unlocked filter option to call for the calling cards in the customization menu. And then bug fixes unlocked. A bunch of bug fixes there. And then gameplay and hardpoint increase the preference of spawn further from enemies and nearer to spawn points recently used by a teammate. Okay. Bug fixes weapon with the charged fire ability now function properly when the manual fire behavior is set to hold. Swapping from tac stance to aiming down sight will no longer cause a jarring recoil animation. Okay, that could be really interesting. And then progression resolves an issue preventing the barrel from unlocking. Kills without reloading challenge no longer continue to track. And then the DM price list description once again matches the tracking requirements. So maps, we got the 6-star emergency. These are just modifying spawns, hard points or hill points for those various locations. You all just have to play them out. Modes, we get infected and then one in the chamber. Weapons, BP gets some changes, SVA. Nothing really damaged. These are hip fire, hip spread, all of those. Not really a big deal there. They lower the bullet velocity, which is kind of a huge deal now. We're probably going to do a video explaining that. I know Exclusive Ace and True Game Data both put about a video on bullet velocity. So we'll probably go a little bit and kind of give additional thoughts on those new findings that Exclusive Ace and True Game Data were able to find. It mainly seemed like a bunch of minor little changes, like increased movement speed slightly, which is good. But we'll have to just see how those play out. They're all like minor 3 or 4% changes. So I don't know how significant these ones are. I'm sure Exclusive Ace will cover that since he mainly covers multiplayer, and those will be fully in depth and explain kind of what that meta is. Perks, we get climbing boots. Remove the perk, this perk, and applied its effect to all players by default. What? That's cool. All-terrain boots. Added a new perk to the boot category, replacing climbing boots. Significantly increases the movement. So you get like a double on that. Running sneakers improves sprint to fire while using tactical sprint by 25%. Nice. Stalker boots increase the strafe speed. Is now omnidirectional. It used to be just left and right. Now you get forward and back. That makes sense. That's cool. Benefit decreases the bounciness of the reticle. That is nice. Commando gloves. They're just speeding up the game a little bit in those aspects. And then we get the EMD grenade. Tracking devices are now destroyed by the EMP DDoS. Okay. And field upgrade decreased the total number of shots fired from 3 to 2 for the trophy system. So that could be interesting, is particularly for ranked. And that's multiplayer. Nothing crazy. Just continue to improve on it. A lot of little changes, which I don't know how impactful they will be, but sometimes those things add up. I think the perk thing could be pretty interesting here though. Zombies. We're going to actually go through this live on Twitch. If you want to go ahead and come hang out, that link is near the top of the description. So we get new content. We get a story mission, and then we get the Dark Ether Rift. I'm pretty sure it's going to be kind of similar, copy and paste. I don't have high expectations. It's kind of like you go in, do the story mission, get the one item, and then you're going to get the multiple items that you're going to have to do to build the Rift, go in the Rift, get the items, and then go with the Elder Sigil to get the schematics, which are the Dead Wire Detonator, the Golden Gas Mask Filter, and then the Sergeant Beret, which could be a really interesting one with this one. And then we got the new Warlord Rainmaker. So that'll be interesting. Challenge of the new Warlord Rainmaker will be need to plan their tactics carefully when approaching this artillery and demolitions expert. Find him in his fortress on Raha Island in the southeastern Urzikstan exclusion zone, where he's supported by an army. We'll see kind of how that one goes. Most of these have kind of been a little bit lackluster. I think the characters are cool. They sell the skins, whatever, but not really. People don't really play zombies to shoot human AI. They want zombies, you know? So gameplay updates, stash storage, increase. Players can store up to 20 acquisitions now. W. And the Gfuel based schematic cooldown. Buddy Earl Shatter did kind of a little bit of a breakdown on what this is supposed to look like. I don't know how helpful this will be in the long run, just because of kind of how it works in a practical sense. Patch notes, gameplay addressed an issue with knockback containment levels. Good, that was a bug that should have been fixed a while ago. Addressed an issue prevented equipped lethals and tacticals from saving and traveling to the story mission. And then allies, zombies, hellhounds, friendly pet acquired from dog in the medium high threat will no longer reset their tier when entering. Okay, good. The Ether Storm, and then customization, weapon blueprint, more situation hazard, address an issue that prevented the desync dismemberment. All right, cool. Players can now interact with containment level UI on the strike team menu. Containment level splash screen. Player Xfuels will now correctly display the containment level progression during the match, and then stability. So pretty straightforward. The short for multiplayer and zombies. Now we get into Warzone, which should be pretty interesting. I hope there's more in here that surprises me. Resolved an issue preventing the wheel sin. Okay, cool, whatever. So they're also going to have the weapon prestige camos, which is a W, 150,000 XP with one weapon. So that'll give people a reason to use other weapons. Bunkers, it just says redacted. I guess we're going to have to figure that out. This is on Big Map when it comes to Urzikstan. This is pretty much the only change that Big Map gets, and they're not even talking about it. So you're kind of going to have to explore and figure that out. We had one bunker that was already open under the middle of the map, and then there's probably about 6 or 7 other bunkers scattered around, and we'll see if those are openable with a key card or a combo or something. That'll be kind of interesting. I hope this is actually interesting, but we'll see. Rebirth Island, we get loaded resurgence, similar to Plunder. This resurgence variant allows player to deploy. That's kind of crazy. I'm all for LTMs. Just keep them coming, right? A non-stop moving circle inspired by a high trip resurgence. So that one could be kind of crazy, but also kind of annoying depending on the situation. And then lockdown, customized for Rebirth Island. Lockdown will be returning. And this was always been on Vondel, but now we get there. Get the playlist look there. Plunder is there for those that care. Battle Royale Resurgence. We get map rotation on solos and duos. Quads will be dedicated Rebirth. No trios unless you want to play ranked. Or this loaded Resurgence. So that's kind of cool. General Resurgence Champion Quest. Resurgence fans may now experience the ultimate Resurgence on 2 new maps, Fortune's Keep and Vondel. So you'll be able to do the nuke on both of those. Cosmetic rewards are shared between all 3 of them. Rebirth Island audio improvements. Thank you. There were so many issues on the map when it comes to audio. Improved have been made to audio occlusion. Audio level adjustments have been made to the following: ascenders, parachutes, and then enemy footsteps, which is important. Ascender audio improvements. Enemies and allies using ascending will now make 2 distinct audio sounds and an interrogation and revive sound quality of life. Increase the audio distance that you're able to hear the interrogation as well as the revive sounds. Nice. Gameplay. New feature, heavy armor. So this is the public event where you spawn in with an extra plate. This one will be kind of interesting. We might have to do cook up a list of what the meta looks like with an extra 50 health. I'm sure, that'll be interesting to see how that works, because that can shake up the meta. You'll be like, oh, that gun's not nearly as good. Just the way the math works sometimes. Certain guns are just better if there's an extra 50 health or 50 less health. Damage per mag and a lot of those things. Weapon trade stations are back. If you guys remember, you're able to take items to the weapon trade station and then it can give you a reward, which can be kind of crazy sometimes. Durable gas mask, kill streaks, legendary weapon. There's all kinds of stuff with this. And then we get the utility box, which is kind of cool. This is only for Rebirth Island, I believe. It's a combination of the armor and munition. So when you throw it, you'll get the 4 plates plus the full munitions part of it where you get a restock. Foresight will make its return. Can be acquired via redacted. So it'll probably be with one of the key cards somewhere on the map or an Easter egg style thing that you can do. And then specialist will be very much the same thing. And that will be the finds specialist will immediately receive the benefit of every perk, which is the whole point. Something upgrade, redacted. With the arrival of the new excellent gear, Coney has updated blank to make good use of them. I don't know what the heck that's going to be. Maybe a biometric scanner upgrade? I don't know what the heck this is going to be. We'll see. And then variable time of day. We've already had the little in-game events. Those have been going on for already like 2, maybe even 3 weeks. They started way sooner. Variable time of day will have sunset, overcast, and foggy. I'm guessing people aren't really going to like this foggy one, but we'll kind of see how that goes. Hopefully it's not like Fondle. That was terrible. Adjusted features, all maps, ascender improvements, minor adjustments to use, range and angles of ascenders. This change primarily helps with circumstances where ascenders and elevation would not provide a prompt at certain angles and ranges. Yeah, because sometimes you go up, you're like, get on the dang rope. It wouldn't work. Ascenders at elevator locations will now be easier to interact with. Yep. And then it says high stakes public event. High stakes crates now will give a utility box instead of armor. And okay, so it saves that. Medicine cabinets. These containers will now drop 1 stem down from 2. A lot of that's going to be with Vondel. You know, people cheese in the end zone. They just go from building to building, get a bunch of medicine cabinets. Spy drone contract. Reduce the drones down to 7 from 9. Substantially reduced spy drone health, so they're easier to kill. And then slightly lowered spy drone base altitude, so they're a little bit lower to the ground, so it's a little easier to shoot. Shorten the minimum and maximum spy drone distance from the player. Biometric scanners. Reduce the animation time. Okay, so they're faster. Nice. Make sure you're doing though. Those are actually like so clutch on the gear you get from them, but the rewards you get on top of this new like phone you get at 27, you get a permanent phone. Anytime you load in, you can just go to this one room and then you'll be able to receive money every 30 seconds. The game just gives you money. It's crazy. Urzikstan boot camp. I haven't even tried that. I mean, there's not a reason I would. And then we got weapons. Bow 27. We already knew that. It's just going to be unlocked via the season pass. New aftermarket parts. Those will come throughout the season. I think 1 each week or something like that. And then we get the 8th week plus 9th week or whatever. We get the camo reward or whatever the heck that is. So now here are the weapon adjustments. So we get BP. It looks like they changed the hit. So this is a lot like the multiplayer stuff. Okay. Ram 7. This could be interesting. Let's see. Max damage decreased again. So they basically, this should be nerfed into the ground. I would imagine Ram 7 probably no longer even probably not viable. MTZ, hipfire. Where's damage? Okay, MCW. Min damage increased to 20. We'll have to look at the math and see how that impacts TTK. I don't feel like that's enough. I feel like it maybe with the multipliers, it's enough depending on the shot placement. But that could be an interesting one to at least look at. MCW could potentially be long range meta with that, but who knows? I mean, it's only 2 points, but in some cases that's made a huge difference to drop the number of shots from like 14 down to 12 or something like that. And it could be very impactful. But it could also be nothing. FR, holy, what are they doing here? Benefits, are any damage changes, no rate of fire. All right, huge changes. Many FR attachments have been reworked to increase their appeal and overall viability. Ain't no one using this thing. I don't know, burst, unless it has a tight spread, it's not gonna work. M13B gets a slight buffed up close, which is cool. A headshot multiplier is decreased, upper torso increased, and then arm increase. So they kind of reworked it a little bit. Again, only 1 damage at the closest range. So maybe better as a sniper support because of that. But these multipliers could impact that. So we'll have to see how the average shots to kill works out. Tempest Razorback gets a pretty decent buff at this medium range, and then also at its furthest range. This could actually be cool. This could be an MW2 gun that you can actually use. Too bad that, you know, I mean, they're so bad, most of them. And then the FR Advancer also gets an improvement. Unfortunately, we're not seeing more rifle changes here, but we got at least a couple that could do something. We just have to see how the math works with TTKs and the sort. SOA Subverter, min damage decrease, so they're nerfing this thing. I really thought we'd get a buff of a slight recoil where it's kind of broken for a little bit, but it seems to be like they're already nerfing that long range, so maybe that's kicking that out. It's really unfortunate that we're not getting like just a wave of buffs, because I think we're at a point where like we've had enough nerfs, people are tired of them. They do make the game feel like worse at a certain point, and I think we've already reached that point. So hopefully we just keep getting more buffs. That would be ideal. So we have more guns that we could play with and have fun with versus, oh, all these guns feel like trash, you know? And then those two, nothing really there. HRM, max damage decreased. That is the close range damage. This could be, again, I didn't want them to nerf the HRM. I wanted them to buff everything. And it looks like we're not going to have a lot. I mean, we'll see if other things get buffed, but HRM, it gets weaker all the way across the board. Decreased. And they lower the range another meter. RAM, nothing there. Increase vertical recoil slightly. These ones are like, this is kind of crazy. Like, went from 44.4 to, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. So Rival, we have max damage increase. So, I mean, it's 1 damage. And then they increase the modifiers for the arms, hands, torso, and they increase the range. I don't know if that's enough. I mean, we've used the floor loot one. It's not great, but when people only have 2 plates, not a big deal. Hopefully we get an update to floor loot, especially if you're doing the armored mode. You should be able to get guns that can actually down a player, right? WSP9, decrease sprint to fire time. That's huge. This is huge. 66. It's like a whole 50 milliseconds there. Striker. What? Min damage. That's great for range. Increased to 28, up from 23. That is huge. That's a base striker. It's not going to impact the close range one. It doesn't kill particularly fast at close range, but this could make it a little bit more viable as a sniper support, depending on its bullet velocity. All right. I wonder what's going to be the go-to. Probably the Striker 9, I would imagine, is going to be like the meta with this WSP 9. Those will be probably the main 2 go-tos, because I don't see enough with the Rival, but we'll have to look at the numbers, see how it goes. Shotguns, remove aim down sight spread, riveter, okay. DG gets a buff to its torso, multiplier hand torso, okay. Bruin gets a max range, max damage decrease. So they're nerfing the Bruin. Again, more nerfs. Eradicator, okay, nothing there. Stalker, decreased bullet velocity. That's what everyone's asking for. Worse snipers. Cat AMR, worse bullet velocity. Moors, increased bullet penalty by 20%. 15 antimatter, okay. Yeah, they're just making guns worse. I don't know the thought process. Just let's have fun. Stinger gets an upper or torso increase. I wonder how that impacts with Kimbo, because these are decent in Akimbo, not broken but decent, and probably better now if you're not running into HRM. Anything else? Damon gets a little bit of a change. A lot of these are going to also impact the like when you spawn in, because you spawn in with various versions of these guns. And it says max damage increase for the Damon. The Nidmir increased. So basically got a buff all the way around. Damon should feel better when you're spawning in. And that's it for that. Okay, loadout. Fortune's Keep, Bunker Buster Kill Streak. Drop time reduced to 2 seconds from 4, so it'll come in a lot faster. And they modified it in other ways. Rank play restrictions. Updated menu provide additional clarity for restrictions. Champion Quest, we added prompt to notify players who attempt to leave a match that a Champions Quest objective is progress and available to intercept. Ooh, you could still the Champions Quest now. Attempt to leave a match that a Champion Quest objective is in progress and available to intercept. Nice. Bunker Buster minimap improvements. Bunker Buster now display a red circle in its landing location and will show a red circle in the duration of the damage and gas. Okay. End of match flow. After a match ends, players will be returning to the selected playlist rather than the playlist selection menu. That is a W. I hate having to go back and then scroll down 5 tabs to find the one I want. Perk description, additional information added to some perk descriptions. We'll have to check that out to see if anything was missing that they updated with that. Bug fixes, a few different bug fixes, and that's it. We're able to jump in. Not the craziest of updates. Let me know what you guys are going to be rocking if you think this was a good enough update for you and what you like to play. Appreciate all the support. Thank you for watching as always. Have a great day.